Well, the rTribe app has really, in essence, made my life and job a lot easier in the therapy session. So as a therapist working with sex addicts, as a certified sexual addiction therapist, helping clients develop sexual sobriety, being able to restrain or refrain from behaviors that get them into trouble is really a big motivation or a big gist of my job. But it's not what all therapists like to do. They like to do therapy, not just manage the behavior. So rTribe has really given clients a way to manage their behavior at the flip of a phone outside of the therapist's office and help them to develop increased sobriety and quicker and develop a sense of community. And by being able to pick people to be on their app, they can feel safe. So they come in more prepared to do therapy than just talk about the behavior they can't control. So that's been the biggest benefit for me from the cases I've worked with rTribe. I can understand that some clinicians, some therapists might be reluctant to recommend something they're not sure of. But like any other thing that a client would pursue, you would treat that as any other intervention. You would encourage them to give it a try, explore with them how they feel about it. For some reason, if they didn't, and you can make a new decision. But it seems to me worth the effort to give it a try, because treating sexual addiction requires as many multiple interventions at as many times of the day as possible. And you as a therapist really can't be there for the addict across the sequence of time throughout in between sessions. So I would say give it a try and have your client give it a try. There's really no harm in that if they follow the guidelines that rTribe offers. One of the advantages of rTribe, I think, as an app compared to others, although I'm not familiar with all the other apps, to be frank, is that the rTribe app is specific to people struggling with porn or sex addiction. And there's specific messages that the addict gets on a daily basis that are geared towards porn or sex addiction. So the uniqueness of rTribe as it stands now is the specific content relevant to an addiction that really needs particular emphasis as compared to a more general addiction app. One of the other advantages of the rTribe app as a specific app for sex addiction, say as compared to a general self-help app or a general addiction app, is the security and safety of knowing that you're going to be talking about sex addiction, porn addiction issues, and others are going to be doing that too, and you're not going to run the risk of having somebody react to you negatively. So the specific nature of the rTribe and the focus that the folks there have done to make sure that it appeals and addresses the sensitivity around porn addiction and sex addiction is really what makes it stand out. One of the advantages of having addicts or people struggling with compulsive or addictive porn or sex addiction use connect with others outside the office is it's giving them a base of community that therapy really can't do, and it's helping my job and helping me to make my work easier and more effective. By doing so, frankly, it brings in more business and referrals into my practice because my work with the client has now increased in terms of its success rate. So strictly from a business standpoint, it makes lots of sense to give it a try, and like anything else, you would just sort it out with your client to see if it's a good fit for them.